Hi everyone, this is going to be another progress video in my isometric 2D project. I did a little bit of work outside of the videos, but that work has been pretty invisible. Basically, I realized there was some issue like with the coordinate system. It was a little bit off. So for example, if I was saying the player should spawn at this coordinate, it would spawn a little bit off, and it was because of a bigger issue. So I kind of reworked the way that the cells were kind of being placed. It's very similar to the way it used to be, very similar. Basically, also now the cutoff always has to be exactly half of the size for the stage to appear square in a rectangular fashion, should I say. So, but I won't go over all the changes because there were very minor tweaks, and I feel like it was just little things. So yeah. So what I want to do today is I want to configure the other directions for my player sprite, and I'm probably gonna add the controls as well. So it's gonna be, I think, fairly simple, but there's gonna be a big thing to rethink soon, which is how to how to store and display the entities. Because right now, the way that the skyscraper, the fog cells, and the player are stored is very like loosey goosey, and I want to have a more like a real approach. I think maybe I'll have a query that kind of goes over like the content of a cell and then renders it in a very defined way, so that, for example, if you walk on something that's like a walkable entity that you can walk over, you'll render over it. And I need a very like strong strategy for that. I can't speak apparently. Okay, so yeah, let's add the other sprites. So if I go and create player, I'm gonna probably find my way. I'll reorganize it and I'll create the 4 flip book. So north, then there's going to be west, then there's going to be south and east. And here I'm going to put how's it called? Anim direction north, west, south, and east. So I'm going to create all 4 flip books. I'm going to add them to the thing, the pause. And my control direction, at first I'm going to add south. So this should already allow me to see the down flip book right away. Yeah, so you can see I see my character from the front now. So that's all good. That's all good. We will want some sort of like I want some sort of like kind of system now where if I press the movement keys, it's going to move around. I already have a little bit of a thing for that, so it's just a matter of me remembering exactly how I used to set it up. But there, I think it's not so hard. So the idea is, in the thing I provided in the other videos before, I have input man there, and in the here we'll store it. like this. And then when we create the singleton, so I think we're gonna do that in the init here. Yeah, that seems like a good place to do it. We're gonna have the app input man, and we can malloc. Like this. And also something in the input man is you can pass along, because I tried to design this not so that it's dependent on flex. So the way that I do it is that there's a custom data and you can pass something if you want, but it's optional. And I can pass the flex world. So. Alright, so the input man, there's a few things to create and stuff. It's not very well configured actually. I should probably wrap this into some sort of larger callback. So I'm gonna initialize a list of scan code. That's a type that's provided with the input man. Sorry, and it's gonna go in the keyboard key press list. And then I'm going to have an array of bool initialized. That's the key firings. There's also the key flips, which is another array. And I also have an array of uint8 to initialize, which is the signals. And I'll show why we have so much stuff. And also we need to resize all of these to the size uint8 max. So like this. All right, and then so that's all needed. I should probably put this in some sort of init as part of the generic code, but I'll do this in a future video. And then in the input man, there's a bunch of callbacks that are called, for example, we can find the key press callback, and then we can associate to it a local function like handle key press. Like this. Now this function that we are gonna be creating, it should be like a specific to this project. So it's handling the key press for this project. So let's define it. Handle key press. We're gonna take the input man, and then the scan code, and then finally a void pointer, the parameter. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so let me show you a bit how this works. For example, let's configure here if the scan code is equal to Q, we're gonna quit. And so the way that this really works is kind of in 2 steps, and the reason why there's so many kind of weird arrays and stuff at the beginning, I'll try to explain it, is because there's like what I call a key debouncing system, which makes it so that if you just press real quick a key and you release in like half a frame or whatever, it won't detonate the key. So the keys have kind of like a signal that gets stronger and stronger, and only when the signal is strong enough does the key kind of trigger. So this works. So here in the SDL app event, we're gonna have something if the event type is key down. It changed name. So if it's key down, the event, we're going to use a function from input man, which is register the scan code, essentially. And then we want to get the app input man, and the scan code is basically the event key scan code, and then we pass the app. Oh yeah, we have to remove the constant here, and we have to use get mutable and then ECS ID app s. So this, and then if the key up, I think we have unregister the scan code. So this is really important because then every frame we have, so every frame when we iterate here, we have input man bounds keys like this, and then we can get the app input man and pass the app. The reason why I'm passing the app, even though I could technically pass the app which already contains the input man, is, as I said, this system is made for other games that may not use ECS, so this parameter can be used for other stuff. It's the only reason we have this kind of redundancy, and it might not be perfect. It's just a little code I made for personal use. So this here will kind of it will kind of process the keys every frame. Let's see if it launches. Alright, so let's just reduce the window. So if we look here in the window down there, if we press, oh, you see there is a little error for some reason. Oh yeah, it's because I made a mistake. So I need to define here. I'm going to define more than just this, because we also need to define other kind of handler. Otherwise we're going to get into some issues, because there's no like safeguard. They're not defined for now. So we have to handle key release. Like this, and we also have to handle the key hold. So that's another thing, is that the first time you press it triggers key release, but then when the key is held it triggers key hold. So you can have kind of different effects. Alright, like this. And then we, just so you know, there's also mouse stuff, which we I don't know if we have to implement it or we'll get into a crash for now. Let's try to go without it, but I think we might be having the same issue, so let's just see. I think as long as I don't click into the window, I'll be fine. So if I go here and I like do this, and then, so you can see, let's say I press the D key, or let's say I press the A key. Alright, so what happens is, let's look at what happens. So I register A, I don't know why it says 4, and then so the signal for A gets stronger, you know, and then when the signal gets to 5, when it gets to 6, the key becomes flipped, which means that its effect for the key press will trigger. And so after this, the signal can get stronger. It can go up to 12 or 10, I don't remember. And so when the key starts to unrelease, and it unregisters, sorry, then the signal gets weaker, and when the signal goes below, also the signal goes by down by 2, and it goes up by 1. So it goes down by 2, and then when it goes down below 5, it flips off. So basically, that's how that's how this little thing works. Obviously, this should be part of like the API. I'm gonna try to update that. I think it would be really easy, in fact, to update that. All we would have to do is we have to have an input man init function, and then we would do something like we would just pass a pointer to kind of an out pointer like this, and then the only thing, so all of this would be in there. So this here, let's go add it. It's in the input man. So very, very simple. And also here you'll need to put parentheses because of precedence rule. Oops. So like because the dereference of the pointer has a less precedence than the, I mean there's like multiple dereference there. You need to make sure they happen in the right order. You can clean this up in different ways. So this is input man init, and then we just have to expose this into the API right here. And then because we already have the API included in the C script, so there it is. So we can initialize like this. It's much more clean. I think this is going to work. Right, neat. And then, so we implemented Q. So if I press Q, it's going to quit the app. You see? It quit the app. Interesting that it kind of glitched out, I feel, when I quit, but whatever. Alright, neat. So that seems to be pretty good. So you can see now it's very easy. We can just go in handle key press, and then for now we can just hard code the control, and I'm just going to implement a single directions for today. So We're gonna have W, A, S, and D. Let's create a structure called the game, and then let's keep a reference to the player, and then here let's add a game pointer like this. And so in the init, I'm just going to have the app game and allocate it. This is going to be convenient. I'm probably going to do something similar for the screen, like the UI where I put all the widgets. Just easier to manage. So when we create the player, we have the app here. So we can do app player, app game player equal the entity. So here when we press, the ECS is the parameter. So we can take, what we can do is we can take, what we want to do is we want to get, I think we can get it as a const. We're gonna get the singleton. I wish they would make like a something that gets the as a mutable. I don't know if there's another way, and it means I shouldn't do it. So that's the player. So what we want is, for now, let's just try to move it in a rough way. So it's very simple. We can just get the origin of the player. That's the origin. We get it as a mutable. From the ECS, the player, we want to get the origin. So we could get that. And I think we could try to get the grid element as well, because that's just going to help with sorting. Alright, grid element like this. Maybe we get it no matter what. Kind of less redundancy, I don't know. And then let's just try, so the origin, the position, we move up, the position goes by minus equal iso surface h. And that's the y position. And then down, down like this. So this should, I think this should already work, unless I'm misunderstanding how I did things, which is possible. But it won't work perfectly, like you'll break the sorting and stuff, right? Oh, it will just crash. Oh, interesting. I never saw that error. Okay, we never got to that point. It might be these lines here that are creating some issue. Let's see. Oh. That's so bizarre. Okay, so this is mean. This is actually the thing that's not working. I'm not sure why though. What does it say? HDR magic. There must be something I did. I bet if I clear the memory, it's gonna stop crashing. Is it? No, maybe not. It's possible because I'm trying to use malloc more and more, but no. Okay. I really wonder. I don't understand because, oh, maybe? What am I doing? I'm doing something stupid. I'm not even able to get the singleton. Why is that? Oh, I see. This is I'm passing the app. I'm supposed to pass the ECS. This is actually because there's no, this is one of the dangers of C right there, right? Is that it? Yeah. Well, we tried to minimize the, oh yeah, it's working. But you can see the sorting breaks down, right? So we're gonna try to, okay, so let's just analyze a little bit. So this is, when we go down here, it's -1 + 1. So it's gonna be -1 + 1. I'm going to update the grid elements so as to reflect that, essentially. So I'm going to take grid element, and then the column will be +1, and then the row will be -1. I should do ++ perhaps. Let's just see if this works. Also, the die is +1 -1. Oh, it's -1 + 1. Silly. Like that. -1 + 1. And I should probably check the other directions instead of just doing a single one. So this, like this, is -1, -1, and like this is +1, +1. Okay. Okay. Eventually I'll have a system that's more broad so that AI can use the same mechanic. Okay, so it doesn't sort. Interesting. I wonder why not. Oh, because I'm not storing it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the right thing. It's not the same meaning. Is it? Am I stupid? It's possible. I've been coding all day on other stuff, and yeah, okay, it has nothing to do with that. What's going on? Isn't it supposed to? Grid element. Maybe there's a it's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a problem with because the player is created with a little offset here of 64, but I don't think the skyscrapers are created with this, so it could be that. In my system, oh, I see. Oh no, never mind. This is, if I disable this, nothing gets rendered. And it says here that it's sorting by isometric. And for the building in themselves, it's working. But it's when I start to move. I don't know. So like if I stand here, me it's 38:22, and this guy is 40:21. Let's take note of that. So me 38:22, building is 40:21, and then the code says you compare two entities. So for example, you take the row minus 21, that gives 1. No, that's not how you do it. You take the row minus the column, that gives something, and then that gives something else. Minus 16. And then minus 19 for the skyscraper. So then which depth is lower? It's going to be, so depth 1 is going to be greater. So it's going to return in front technically. Let's just double check. Oh, in load map, there's a skyscraper here, and it has minus 158. I don't think this is not good. If you disable this, then the skyscraper will appear in the wrong place, but it probably will sort properly. No, it's really weird. Oh, this one. I have no clue. I think maybe I need to review how I draw all the art, so to make sure that they're in the right place. I'll put this back the way it is. In a way, the offset doesn't really... Oh yeah, because I think, yeah, I'll need to, for them to sort properly, I need to really like there's some issue right now into the way that I created some of them. That's the only thing I can think of. Makes no sense how he's always behind. Well, I didn't expect this to be so tricky, so I'm not sure I'm actually gonna have time to solve it. So yeah, that sucks. I'm not really sure Seems to me like when I look at the system, it seems like it should render it properly. The only thing I can think of is like maybe the player, when I move it, for some reason, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm not doing this properly. I'm gonna try something. It's a little bit brute force, but I was doing this. So he starts at 46.24 and then he goes down to 45.25. Seems to be working fine. I'm just gonna mess up with things just to try to see if I can pick up some clues. don't understand. Perplexing. I really wish I could figure it out. It's annoying because in the way that flex, it's one of the things that annoys me in flex is in the order by, it's very hard to do any debugging because they give us these entities, but we can't do anything with them as far as I know. It's completely useless. We can't get their name, we can't do anything. So maybe I'm missing something. It's one of the things that I sometimes get stuck with. It's not the first time. Bit of an annoying jam here. Doesn't make sense. Maybe my math is just not working. Let me verify how I did it. We could add them, I think. Then if we add them, it's gonna break. But give me a sec. So if we add them, for example, this here is 46, so 71, and this here is 70. This here $72. If we add them, and then the smallest of the two is -1. Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's working at all. I'm gonna remove the tie stuff for now. I'm kind of paranoid. Something's not working. I'm gonna really have to dig into it because I'm completely bamboozled. I do not know what's going on. It's gonna have to be I look into it out of stream. I can't sort. It's like it keeps its original sorting. That I think that's it. It's the only thing I can think of. I'm gonna rework the way that things are done. If I just go and in my create game world, I increase the chance that there's a skyscraper, like I make a lot of skyscraper. But it's a little bit too many. It's behind, right? I don't understand why it doesn't kind of go in front. I did this previously. That's the worst thing. I have a I don't know, but maybe this is wrong. I really hope this is it, otherwise I'm like kind of breaking stuff that works. But I can't see anything else that it could be. The sprite. I just flipped it and nothing happened, basically. It doesn't make sense. This is not working. Something is not working. Kind of clueless right now, so I don't think I'll find it tonight. I don't think it's anything to do with the sort. I just think it doesn't, for some reason it's like not updating. For some reason. It might also be a combination of multiple problems, which would not be very surprising. So for example, like it could be the same thing I said before, where when I created the thing here, right, it didn't have it's like it has this offset. I don't know. I need to observe more details and stuff. Like I'm in front of these, but then I'm behind these. And I'm never gonna be in front of any other ones. You know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm going to, instead of load map, instead of spawning a million skyscraper, I'm going to create a single skyscraper. Create a skyscraper, and then we're gonna get a cell. The last thing I can think of. So we're gonna spawn it. Let's just disable this a sec. Maybe it's gonna crash. It's there. We're gonna spawn it at 3220. So 20, 32, 32, 20. Yes. So we said 3220. See, it's quite off. So we're gonna say minus 64 to get started. See where that brings us. $32.20. It's right there in the right place. And if I go in front, it doesn't work. I'm always gonna be considered behind. It's really weird. But then let's say I create another one. This one I place it here, 4724. Let's see what happens. I forgot the coordinates I was giving myself. $47.24. There might be a reason why it's not working. Okay, I'm doing this in the worst way possible. I'm really tired. And I'm probably gonna quit right after, but I would like to test this out. Alright, so you see, this one is in front, so something's going on. What is going on, for the love of God? I'm not even a believer. Could it be something really weird? Let's go check the documentation real quick. Alright, well that's a big bummer. I mean, it's something so simple, but it's somehow failing completely right now. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I have a few thoughts, but I'm not knowledgeable enough about the systems to be sure. For example, I'm just thinking like maybe because there's an anim player on my player, it doesn't sort properly, you know? So something we could have tried is just like maybe I could try in the player to create the player as board object, then disable all of that stuff. Just put a random sprite. Doesn't work. It's so frustrating. My god. Okay, so it's nothing weird. It's probably my own stuff. So fed up. Just these days, right? Oh my god, there's like literally no progress. I mean, we did some progress, but it's... I don't know what's going on. It doesn't want to sort. It doesn't want to sort. So let's just restore this. I'll figure out the sorting on my own. It's a complete waste of time. I'm kind of ashamed to even have recorded that, but at the same time, the goal of this series is just the whole process, difficulties and successes. So yeah, I'm pretty bummed out right now. I don't really know. It's crazy. I really don't understand. It must be something so stupid. Like, it must be something so silly. This is the only explanation. I've been looking for like 45 minutes or more for this issue. It's completely ridiculous and very frustrating, but it happens when you make games. So yeah, I'm just gonna deal with this another time. For now, I guess the last thing to do, maybe end on a positive note, we're gonna get the anim player. I'm gonna think about this tonight. It's gonna haunt my dreams. And then the anim player, we can get the control direction. So this is north. This is going to be west, south, and east. All right. Oh yeah, I need to oh, it failed. Oh, it doesn't exist. For some reason, I wrote right for the one that says west. Isn't that funny? Alright, at least we have the animations. So that's cool. I'm going to go here and I'm gonna wait. It's not the right place. Yeah, I'm going to use my fetch script. I don't know, maybe there's like a bug. I'm just gonna fetch everything. Imagine it works and there's a bug in the order by. It would be so great. We're just going to rebuild. Still broken, just so you know. Maybe we could try to sort differently, like we could have a different way. Maybe I should try to like print the skyscraper's position or something. Anyway, we're gonna have to find a way to fix this sorting problem. That's gonna be for the future. I'm gonna try to also, after this, we're gonna clear the fog as we walk around. and that's gonna give us a bit more of a beginning of a game, essentially, right? So I'm not too sure why I'm unable to sort. If I put it, when I figure it out, I'm gonna make a little video where I explain what the issue was. Thanks for tuning in. It wasn't very entertaining. There was a bit of a bummer there, but hopefully you were able to see a little bit some of the issues that can come up. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good weekend. Alright everyone, I did it. I finally managed to fix sorting, and it's like I said, it was a weird thing with flecs that I didn't know. So I'm gonna share this with you because it's gonna make this whole like video way more useful. So the thing that I missed and that we have to do is that because this here is happening outside of the whole system stuff, we have to say that the component has been modified, and I didn't know this. I looked for so many things. As you can see, I also added some text there to be sure that the column and rows were proper. I was really kind of digging in and trying to figure it out, and I found this information. ChatGPT, thank you. I basically what I did is I kind of explained a little bit my problem, and it was useful enough to be able to mention this function. So then I went to the documentation and I was able to find more information about it. The flecs documentation is so big that I missed this, and last time I was programming with my this API, I wrapped this behavior into a system, which is something we'll do in the future, but this was meant to be like a more simplified version of the approach, which is why it ended up being so much more complex. In any case, I'm pretty happy in the end because we finally have sorting, so we can kind of move and we go in front or behind the building. So that's really cool, and I hope you enjoy this little chip of knowledge, and have a good one.